Let's get started. Hello, everyone. This is Peter Isisele here, and I welcome you to this section that I have with my friend. So today we've been talking about in a couple of other of my videos about schooling in Canada, and I feel there is a lot to explore, especially having insights about schooling in Europe, and I don't have a lot of expertise on that. So I have a friend who has a lot of expertise, and so I decided to bring him on board so he can talk a lot more about schooling in Europe. So I'm going to introduce him a little bit, but I also give him time to talk a little bit about himself. So my friend, his name is Maxwell. We've known each other now for almost a decade, and we are still rolling. So, yeah. So, would you want to just, tell us a little bit about yourself, like, your background, where you schooled in Nigeria, and then probably the course you studied and when you finished?
Okay. Thank you very much, Peter. I don't know if the audio is clear. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, it's okay.
All right. All right. Thank you very much. Maxwell Olivier is my name, and for the purpose of those that are watching, I got my first degree from the prestigious Ambrose Ali University, and that is where I met my friend and brother Peter Cecily back then in 2011, and according to him, we'll be rolling. Yeah. So that's the little bit I need to say about myself right now. So we
All
finished
right.
together the
So,
same year, and
yeah.
we
So we
proceeded
actually
and
we're
still
actually in the
rolling.
same we're actually in the same faculty. I was doing biochemistry, and then he was doing chemistry. So it's a pleasure to say that after years that we are still breaking new grounds, blazing the trail and finding new paths. I'm really happy to hear that we did not allow our background to put our back on the ground, but
Absolutely. Yeah.
we've been pressing forward, right? Okay. So, would you want to just talk a little bit about, what really motivated you to pursue your studies? Well, first of all, you tell us where you are, and then just tell us where you are, and then we can pick it up from there.
Okay. Right now, I'm talking from Kharkov in Ukraine, Eastern Europe. That's where I'm heading
Okay.
from right now.
All right, that's great. So, we don't want to talk about, so what actually made you to to think about or to start your pursuit of studies in Europe?
Actually, studying abroad is something that every average Nigerian would take advantage of if it's readily available. And
Okay.
me taking advantage of it is because it's an age-long desire. Actually, my first degree, I had a first and a second degree experience in Nigeria, same in Ambrose
Okay.
Ali University, and
Okay.
I saw some few things that actually needed to be amended. Basically, I saw the angle of the instrumentation. I saw so many loopholes in the angle of instrumentation, and that actually, as an industrial chemist, I knew very well that my background was not actually as strong as it ought to be when it has to do with instrumentation and analysis. So this has
Okay.
been an innate desire and the major fact that spurred me further to try to study abroad and having perused some of the countries and taking into cognizance every of the available privileges, I considered Europe as one of my foremost base where I can actually get good schools and
Okay.
get in very nice school and learn as much as I can.
All right. That's a very interesting motivation. Why I'm asking is, the motivation behind why you do everything. It's really very important. So it's very clear now that his motivation is to get a better exposure and being able to understand, a lot of the theoretical experiences we had back in Nigeria. We just want to, have the practical experiences of it, which I feel, schooling abroad also give you the opportunity to be able to do that. Okay, so I think you've already answered my next question about how you were able to search to get the current school. So would you want to talk about a little bit how you got to know the school? Did you search online? Did someone refer you to the school, or just stumble on the school? Or maybe the school came in your dreams.
Yeah. All right. I think the search of the school was actually not very easy because I started this search in 2016. I searched through so many countries, and there were a lot of difficulties. But finally, I got a link, and I made a link. I got a link, and I made an application to free schools. And from there, I got two admissions from the three schools. I actually got a link from a friend, and
Okay.
among the three schools I applied to here in Europe, I got admission in two. So I have to weigh my options between Poland and Ukraine. Looking at as a black man, looking at the feasibility part of it
Yes.
and every other parameter. So I choose this place to be able to do what I have to do and to beat the
All right.
time.
Okay, so so that's why it's also good to have people that can give you information, because it's not every time you really have all the information you need, but if you discuss your goals and your visions with people, with your friends, when they have opportunities, they will definitely share it with you. So
Yeah.
that's why you need to also work with like minds, people that are that are having similar goals and vision with you. So when they, for example, that was also the same thing that happened to me. A friend of mine that we finished from Ambrosia universities together was actually the one that told me about Canada. I didn't know really have much of information about it, but I already told him, I wanted to study abroad. So when he started, applying for the Canada thing, so then he just, got me connected, and then from there, things started moving on. Okay. All right, that's interesting. So, when you got to school, so in terms of like the application process, so particularly for someone from Nigeria now, so what documents do they need to apply for admission? Maybe do they need reference letter? Is the application fee and all that?
All right. I want to start by saying that some of these things are easier than we ever imagined. Because
Okay.
before now, when I started my search, it was almost like impossible. You understand what I mean? So, but as time go by, when I begin to find more information about how it goes, I noticed that I was doing a blind search, just like the novel of Adekunle Momodu. So
Okay. Yeah.
I basically haven't gotten the link here. It solves a lot of problems because the schools here, one thing you must know, that the school here, they work with agents. That's what they do. The schools
Okay.
have the registered agents with the schools. They have their citizens who are registered agents. So if you contact the school, they refer you to their available agent. You understand what
Okay.
I'm saying? So when they refer you to an available agent, the agent will ask you what you want. They have four programs they run here. Okay. Now the first program for education is a language program because it is a non-English speaking country. So you can apply for a language course. You can apply for a direct degree, which is more like BSc in Nigeria. You can apply
Okay.
for an MSc, and you can apply for a PhD. These are three different applications you can make. So the what you are coming for determines the process you're going to pass through. Okay, so if you're coming for a language course, the prerequisites are easy. If you are coming for a direct, it's a little bit more strenuous. Then if you are coming for MSc, the chances increases. The difficulty increases. And if you're coming for just like the higher
Oh,
you go, the
much
harder
more.
it becomes. Yeah, so let me just quickly run through the processes. For the language course, you don't really need much, okay? If you have your WAEC, which is widely acceptable, that is the major certificate they accept here. If you have your
Okay.
WAEC and you have your passport, you have your insurance, your NPC certificate, that's a National Population Commission from the headquarters in Abuja, and you have a sponsor because the sponsor has to provide a bank statement for you.
Okay.
Okay, so once you get a bank statement, you get a passport, you have a WAEC certificate or a GC certificate. They also accept the GC certificate, only the NECO certificate that is most of the schools, 99% of the schools don't accept that. So if you
Okay.
have these four documents, it is easy for you to apply for a language course, having gotten an agent. So the agent will tell you what to do. You submit the document to him online, and he gets you an admission letter, which you are going to pay for, though it's a meager amount of money. So once you
Okay.
get the admission letter, other process continues.
All right. So just to let everyone know that, so he is using a case study of the country. So you might need to check, depends on the school you want to apply to and the country in Europe, you might kind of need to see how their process is, but it's almost very, very similar. And
Similar.
yeah, because I know then I was submitting applications to schools in Germany, in Switzerland, in the UK. It was basically the kind of the same process and the requirements. So for this, we kind of help to serve as a basics, then you can pick it up from there. Okay, that's very interesting. And then so like how long does like the visa processing like how long is like the processing time?
Okay. The visa processing is actually not. It doesn't really take much time. Once you get the documents ready and you have your admission letter given to you, having paid for the admission, and once you get the admission letter, you go to your country. So let's Nigeria is a case study. Once the admission letter is sent to you, you go to the VFS office in Abuja, and you make
Okay.
a submission of the admission letter, your passport, like I mentioned earlier, what do you call it now, statement of account from a sponsor. Okay, then you get your health certificate. You get a certificate from a recognized hospital proving that you physically fit. All right. Then you get an insurance from the government. So once you get this document ready, you take to the VFS office. Then they give you a date, maybe within a week or two, to come back and they fix you up for an interview. So when you go to when you go to the embassy for the interview, having been interviewed in the embassy, they ask only a few questions. Okay, what are you going there to do? We are going for studies. Okay, what kind of study are you going? Is it a language course or a degree? You have to submit your. My process took 3 weeks. My process took 3 weeks. Some people have 1 month, some have 2 weeks. So just basically it's between 2 weeks to 1 month. Just between 2 weeks to 1 month, and everything is going to be fine if you have the required document like we just explained.
Okay. All right. Um, okay, that's interesting. And then so once you've submitted everything and then everything is now ready. So how about the student life over there? How is like the environment like in terms of like the student life over there?
Generally, student life here. Well, should I compare it to Nigeria, or I should just go with
Um,
what I have? Well, comparing it might be a little bit clumsy, so I think I should just say a word or two about the student life. Yeah, actually, student life here is okay. It's okay. The only difficulty I had as a person, it's the language barrier. Okay, it was actually pretty difficult in the beginning because here the official language here is Russian, and absolutely different from what we used to know in Nigeria. So coming here was like it's like starting all over again. You know what it means for an adult to start learning language from
Yes.
scratch. So I think that is the first challenge. But basically, it's okay. It's okay. And another constraint is that if you're coming to Europe, you have to be well acquainted with the kind of weather you are coming into. So it's not as though for those of you in Canada, you understand what I mean. So the weather is
Yes.
actually very cold, like very cold. So you have to be ready. Now we are like this because this is summer, and even in the summer, you still have to come on jacket. So you have to be very abreast of that. But the student life is okay. The financial cost, though maybe you get to that. Let me not rush to it. But the financial aspect of it is actually somewhat meager and fixable. It's okay.
So I'm just trying to confirm. So is my sound still very clear?
Yeah, I can hear you audibly.
Okay, because I think your voice is a little bit low. I don't know. Maybe it's my own
Oh,
connection from my
okay.
side.
Maybe the internet transmission.
Okay. All right. That's pretty interesting. Then one more question I wanted to add is so while you're studying, is it possible to work while you're studying?
Yeah, while you study, you have the possibility of working. Yeah, but it also boils down to the language barrier I spoke about a minute ago. If you are well acquainted, that's why it's somehow advisable, if not for cost problems, that when you come in and take a language course first. Okay, when you take a language course for about 6 months to 1 year, then you get a good ground before you begin your studies. You can get a job while you're studying, but if you are well acquainted with the language, you get a better job with a better pay. Okay, but if the language is a barrier, so many companies or so many establishments will not want to hire you because it's difficult for them to commune with you. So it's possible for you to work. It's possible. You can work one or two, three different places, but the pay is going to be meager if you're not language certified or oriented.
Okay, all right. That's interesting. So if anyone has any question, you can always you know, leave the question in the comment section, and then we'll try to answer the question as much as possible when we can. Okay. So talking about tuition, so how is the tuition fee like over there?
Oh, tuition here is well, I don't know, but compared to Nigeria, it will be a little bit high. For the language courses, I took a language course for a while, and I paid $1,700 for
Okay.
it, equivalent. And for degree, depends for those here. What they do is that school fees is graded depending on what you're studying. All right. Yeah, for those that study, let's say business administration, for example, they pay plus or minus 2,000 euros. Then if you're doing engineering, you pay 3,500 plus or minus in euros. And if you're doing a medical course here, you pay between 4,500 to 5,000 euros. And this is excluding your accommodation. Okay, so you have to take care of your accommodation. Here, accommodation for if you are taking accommodation with your school, you spend roughly 800 to 1,000 euros yearly. All right, that's annually. But if you are taking an apartment for yourself, you can have a one-room apartment. If you are a confidential kinder person, you can take an apartment for yourself, and this will cost you roughly 300 euros every month. So you can weigh the options and know which one is better for you. But for the tuition, I think it's pretty okay because here we pay annually, not like you people in Canada where you pay for summer, winter, fall, and it's
Yeah.
it's actually very high. But here is annually. It's just like Nigeria kind of system. You pay school fees every year, not 3 times in a year.
Okay. All right, that's interesting. And then, so just to, tuition also vary, depends on the country. So here just giving like a case study. So depends on the particular country you want to apply for, then you should be
And the
able to,
department and course of
yeah,
study you're applying to.
yeah, you should be able to do, should be able to check like the country and see what their tuition fee is, and then how it is different from every other country, because it's kind of the same, but it's close. I was not the same. I would say it's close, but you need to confirm country specific. And then the last question I want to ask is, so in terms of getting like, maybe staying, maybe someone wants to stay after schooling, so how possible it is for one to get like residency after one finish schooling over there.
All right. Life after school here. Um, is a little bit sorry. It's a little bit clumsy. Life after school because it's somehow difficult getting permanent residency here, and most of the jobs, most of the companies that would want to hire you, they wouldn't want to hire you forever. So it's all based on appointment. You can get an appointment to the company for a year, for 2 year. It all depends on how lucky you are. But if you want to get a permanent residency, they offer permanent residency here for a period of 10 years. And this will either come through childbirth or marital status. Okay, maybe if you have a child or you're married here, you have an option for it to obtain a permanent residency, and that can take you for 10 years. And after 10 years, maybe you just have to update your passport and also update your photo passport, and you pay maybe less than $100 and you are good to go. You understand? So
Okay,
it's not actually
all
very
right.
easy here anyway. Obtaining a permanent residency it's not very easy. But companies can keep elongating your contract, and when it expires, if you are good, they elongate the contract. So that can give you a moral and legal stand to be able to stay. And that's it.
Okay, all right. That's interesting. So I'm not sure we have. In case anyone has any question to ask, you can always drop your question, or you can message myself or Maxwell at any time if you have any specific questions that we haven't been able to answer. Okay. So I think that's pretty much all the questions I had on ground. So just like on the final note, to anyone that's thinking of coming to apply or coming to school in Europe. So what do you think are like some of the first few steps that a person need, or what the person need to be doing now, maybe like in terms of preparation and all.
Well, like I said earlier, just like wrapping up, it's it boils down to going online and checking the country you want and trying to get a score. But it's a little bit difficult if you're doing it alone without uh, anyone giving you a link or a school to apply to. You understand? So I think that is one of the importance of this section. Okay. Yeah, but I can drop my Instagram or any of my social media app, so you can, if you are really interested, you want to study in Europe, we can share some links with you that you can on your own make applications. And trust me, within a period of 2 3 months, I'm certain that you definitely be lucky to find a school or find a supervisor, and you move in. But my advice is that you have to be very careful while you're online, because there are so many agents who are they are like roaring lions looking for whom to devour. So you have to be very careful on the authenticity of the site you're going into and whom you're talking with. All right. So you just have to count your teeth with your tongue and always ask questions. You understand? Always ask questions. Okay. For those of you who do not have me on the Instagram. Most times, I think I'm more frequent on the Instagram than the Facebook. Okay, on Instagram, I am Max underscore Ocean. All right, the Max is Maths, like mathematics. Max underscore Ocean. All right, so if you come in there, I will always be there to be able to
Mm.
answer your questions. On the Facebook, it might take a little while because there are always so much to do on Facebook. So I think it's a little bit easy coming here, and I will encourage anyone who has the passion to, you know,
Okay.
take advantage of it.
All right. That's pretty good. So yeah, like I mentioned, if you have any specific question you want to ask, you can do it to message myself or Maxwell. So if you ask a question and I'm not able to answer, maybe because it's not my area of specialization, then I can always, forward the
Yeah,
message to
and also,
him,
and also, and
provide
also,
his.
and also for the audience who also wants maybe direct entry to Canada or school or study in Canada, I think you're also in the best position to guide them. All right, because
Yes,
now
yes,
you start becoming a lord in Canada. Spending up to 5 6 years in Canada is no joke. So I think the audience should also look you up in trying to secure a space, and I'm sure that you are going to be there to attend to their questions and
yes. That's right.
whatever
So
form of assistance they may need.
yeah, so if anyone have any question regarding Canada, this presidential or schooling, you can always message me, and I will look at your situation and kind of advise you on what best to do. Disclaimer: we are not agents, so
No,
we are
we
just here to provide you information on how to do it yourself. Okay, so if you don't contact us, if you want us to do it for you, you can contact us to get
to
information.
guide you.
Yeah, okay. That's pretty much for now. I'm not sure we have any question
Question.
online. So I'll wait in case any question comes. I will let you know. So once again, I want to thank you, Maxwell, for taking out time to join me in this live section to talk to uh, followers and share information. I know I'm really very grateful. So I will definitely bring you on board to dive deeper if any other question comes.
It's always my pleasure. It's always my pleasure.
All right. Thank
Thank you
you,
very much.
and
Right.
enjoy the rest of the day or the evening, irrespective of where
And
you
you
are.
too. And you too.
All
Have a very
right.
nice day. All right. Yeah. Bye. More times.
Thank you for watching that wonderful video. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button. Subscription is free. And if you have any other question, you can leave a comment in the comment section. And don't forget to share with your friends. Let's do this. Subscribe so we can be able to reach more people. See you in the next video.